I've realized now in reading the fourth book, hockey just happens to be their job. But I'm reading the books and I'm falling in love with the characters. I'm falling in love with the conflict and the tension. Hockey just happens to be there. Keep watching to find out what book we're talking about today. Hey you guys, this is Denanyoh, and today we are talking about the book Common Gold. The author of the book is Rachel Reed. The genre of the book is fiction, and the theme of the book is contemporary romance. This book is still a part of the Game Changer series. That was the title of the first book, but you will recognize this as being part of the Heated Rivalry series. But there are a series of 6 books as of June 2026. Rachel Reed is actually writing the 7th book right now called Unrivaled. We are all waiting for it to come out. So this is book 4. And this one features Eric Bennett and Kyle. Kyle is a bartender that we meet in the very first book. He's in the book called Game Changers, and he is really good friends with Kip. So if you've read Game Changers, you know, or if you've watched the show, Scott and Kip are in the show Heated Rivalry. They also are the main couple in the book Game Changers. And so we get to see Kip kiss Kyle, or we get to read about it. The show, they completely omit it. But in the book, Kip gets really upset about something that Scott does. His heart is kind of broken. He's ready for him to come out. And so he goes to the bar, has a few drinks. He's talking to Kyle, this really attractive graduate student. You know, he's so much more than just the bartender. And they have a little flirtatious kiss that doesn't go anywhere. But in the book, and we don't see that until this because we don't get Kyle's perspective, Kyle is in love with Kip. He wants to be with him. He wants to take him on dates. He wants to do all of that. And so he's not jealous that Kip falls in love with Scott and has his own love story, but he looks at Kip with longing. Now, Kip and Kyle, the names don't. Kyle and Eric, that matches. That's very, 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 very cute. Kyle meets Eric at the bar. You know, it's where a lot of the hockey players are starting to come hang out now that Scott is openly dating Kip and an openly gay man in hockey. And they can't get together because Eric is still wearing his wedding ring. Through the book, Eric tells us that he is bisexual. He was married to a woman for 20 years, but they were not sexually active towards the end of it. None of that was going on. Kyle is attracted to him and he's like, no, I always fall for the married guy who doesn't want me. And Eric is looking at him the whole time like, wow, is he flirting with me? I can't really tell. I've been with one person for 20 years. Like, what's gonna happen? That's their biggest tension. But my problem with this book is that Kyle asked Eric if he wants a sex coach or a sex teacher, and Eric says yes. In what world do you think you are going to have him teach you how to have sex and you are not going to gain more feelings for him? The book is about how life is about more than what meets the eye. Kyle is this bartender but extremely accomplished, speaks multiple languages, has a complicated family, is from Vermont, and is a skier, and is a grad student. And then you have Eric who's walking around with a wedding ring on, but he is divorced, like not even separated. He is divorced. He does not know how to be single and how to approach gay men and how to express that he is attracted to men. I've realized now in reading the 4th book, hockey just happens to be their job. You know when you're reading a book and you're like, oh my God, it's so good. Oh, what was that guy? Oh, I guess he was a lawyer. Don't get me wrong. Hockey is a big part, but I'm reading the books and I'm falling in love with the characters. I'm falling in love with the setting of it. I'm falling in love with the conflict and the tension. Hockey just happens to be there. And that's probably because I'm not a huge hockey fan. I understand they're playing, they're practicing, they're doing all these things multiple times. And probably if I get into hockey a little bit more, I'll start to be like, oh, I recognize that, or I recognize that, or this is why she always has them at center ice. Right now, I'm just like, great, right? That could be the setting of any place because I'm just like, what did Eric say today? How did the artwork look in your apartment, right? So they're so good. So good. So let me know, have you read the book Common Gold? Did you know there was more than one book? If you watch the show, you should absolutely read the books because there's just as much sex, just as much attraction, just as much yearning, and it's really good. All right. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye. So the book is about like how everything, the book is about how life is about more than what meets the eye.